All right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. NorCal Sports Network. You just watched an epic all-time World Series and an all-time Game 7. What a ball game that was. And the Dodgers come back and take it from the Blue Jays and win it 5-4 in 11 innings. What can you say, man? The Blue Jays had their chances and they couldn't get it done. They could have knocked them off. So they got nobody to blame but themselves, but we'll talk about it. We'll break it all down for you. First, let us thank our sponsor of the show, Chapman Law Group. Chapman Law Group, located in Marin, licensed in all of California. Give Chapman Law Group a call for all your legal needs, 415-613-9483. Let them know NorCal Sports Network sent you. For personal injury, make sure you give them a call. They will take care of you and get you top dollar. All righty, everybody. Man, I feel like, geez. I had songs ready to go for the Dodgers. I had songs ready to go that was going to laugh at the Dodgers. And now they get the last laugh. Wow. What can you say about this game? I'm watching a little bit of the post game right here. 1 out, top of the ninth. And 1 out, and Miguel Rojas comes up with a big home run, and then the Dodgers somehow in the ninth, Ernie Clement hits a drive with bases loaded that Andy Pages comes and makes the catch. So, I got to show you guys something here because I took a screenshot of, hold on here. I thought the play at the plate with Will Smith, the force out, I thought maybe he didn't get his foot back in time. I slowed it down and it was that close. You could see his foot, the cleats just going down, and he's just in front of the plate. That's how close the Blue Jays came to winning the World Series. So it was close. It was the right call. And, so it wasn't a tie, unfortunately, Mark. It was not a tie. He just got the foot down. So, hey, man, the Dodgers get it done. And, this is life, right? Giants fans are pissed off. Dodger fans are loving it. Now we need Tony Victory. There is the mountain. Are you up for the climb? That's right. It'll be fun when the Dodgers do get knocked off. I didn't even stay long enough to see who was named the MVP. It's got to be Yamamoto, right? Is there any doubt it was Yamamoto? He won 3 stinking games in the World Series. Does this Yamamoto performance top Bumgarner's performance? The fact that he pitched last night and then comes back in Game 7 and pitches 2. How many innings did he pitch? 2 and 2 2/3, right? It was so close that Blake Snell was this close to losing 3 games, and Yamamoto ends up winning 3 games. You know, what can you say? That 2 2/3 innings after going, what did he go last night? Like 7, something like that. Guys, this was if you just love baseball, this was a classic. This will go down 2025 as a classic. The Jays may never recover. I got a feeling the Jays might not recover. You know what? I got the wrong camera on here too. Let me switch my camera. Hold on, guys. I just realized my camera was off. Let me do a little. There we go. I was using the wrong camera. I need to clean this lens too. I was touching it last night. Hey, is the picture quality clear, guys? Can you see the? Am I clear or am I fuzzy? Because I might have my fingerprints on the camera. Let me know. You're fuzzy, Mark says. Okay, hold on one sec. I will get a glass cleaner. I'll be right back. All right, let me know if this gets clear. I'm going to clean this up. Hopefully that'll clear when it dries. How's it now? Is it better or is it still fuzzy? Let me know, guys, because I can't tell. I'm just any clearer? Still fuzzy. What the heck's going on? Every fuzzy. Let me see what I can do here. Camera. Nope, we don't want that. Okay. I'm trying to get to 1080 mode. Yeah, I'm seeing if I'm in 1080 or 720. Hold on. Camera. How's that? Is that better? I'm in 1080 now. Thanks, Mark. I was in 720. That should be better? I hope. Let me know. Sometimes these settings, when you're in the middle of this of something, they change. Tell me if that's clear now. The cameras. Let me know, Mark. You could either text me or just let me know in the chat. I know the chat takes a while to show up. Still fuzzy. Probably takes a minute. Fuzzy still. Jeez. I don't understand. Let me clean this thing. I don't know. I don't know why that is. Camera 1080 Logitech. All right, we'll just go with it. Bill M says F the Dodgers night all. Yeah. Thanks, Bill. What else we got here? We got another super chat right here. Propa says only 365 days until Vitello is hosting that trophy and Chapman gets his World Series MVP. Oh, that would be sweet. Yeah. Yeah. Tough night for everybody but Dodger fans. A senior blocking the arrogant Dodger fans. There we go. So maybe it is my internet connection. You know what? Let me shoot. I can't resync. Oh shoot. If I resync, I could be having issues with the internet tonight. I don't know. I didn't nowhere else. Could just be this computer. So let me take a peek here. Let me see what we got here. What are we going on here? Oh, you know what? Let's change this to a better. See if this gets better. I'm going to connect to my signal. All right. I changed the connection from 2.4 to 5G. Don't know if that is lagging hard still. Jeez. I don't know what it is. If I reboot my whole computer, we lose the show. So, you know what I'll do? I'll wait till Dallas gets in here and I will reboot. I can't reboot now. So I'll get Dallas in here. He'll be in here in a few minutes. And then I'll try and reboot this thing and see if I'm going to restart my internet, but I can't do it now because I'll lose the whole show. So I'm waiting for Dallas to show up. Come on, guys. Where's my guys? He'll be here. He says he's 5 minutes out. That was 11 minutes ago. All right. We'll run with it. Chardall says, can I come on? There's Dallas. He'll be in here shortly. Okay. Let me get this thing going here. All righty. Yeah, very, very. Vero says Giants owners just want to make money. They're okay with the 3 world championships. It's all about the money now. My feed is good. Is it better, guys? Is everything? Mind Air says is it clear? Is it crisp or sharp? And or am I fading? Let me know. Hard to know. Y means yes. I'm clear. Okay. Okay. Maybe the internet just had to catch up. Clearer now. Okay. Cool. I think what we were on was the slower. The computer and the StreamYard, the service we use, it just constantly shifts. Sometimes I lose my mic. Let me make sure my mic is on, right? And I'm not talking on my, okay, I am. I'm talking on the Yeti microphone. Sometimes I'm not even talking on this. I'm using the stinking computer mic because it shifts. All righty. Dodgers spending lots of money. How can a small market wins anything? Dodgers ruin baseball. Well, this we may have a strike in a year, especially if the Dodgers come back and win it again next year. This is a team that probably shouldn't have won this World Series. If you're really honest with yourself, the Blue Jays had all the opportunities to actually win this game, and they just couldn't come up with it. Sometimes it takes guts, and you got to be careful about that possible double play ball, right? You got Yamamoto on the mound that can throw a sinker. Sometimes you might consider doing a safety squeeze there. That would have caught the Dodgers by surprise. A bunt down the third baseline would have scored Guerrero easily. And you would have tied the game up. Now, what you're hoping for is a fly ball or a hit, but a ground ball, not Christian Kirk. I'm thinking of the wide receiver. Alejandro Kirk is the slowest runner in all of baseball. And that's saying something when Wilmer Flores is in the game. He is so slow. Sharks won today. Great, Robert. Good to hear that. but did they name the MVP yet, guys? I'm seeing people say Rojas. He couldn't have been the MVP. Who actually did they award the MVP? I'm assuming it went to Yamamoto. Anybody? Yamamoto. Have they not named it yet? You know what? Maybe I can just turn it on myself and watch it and find out what's going on. You ladies are the glue, the foundation. Man. Freaking Dodgers, man. They was looking forward to a long flight home. Do you guys want to hear the song we had prepared anyway? It was a great song. Should we play the song? Guys, should we play the song, or does it not mean anything that the Dodgers won? They didn't choke. It was all about the Dodgers choking. Beto says, let's hear it. I need a few more guys that say they want to hear the song. Who wants to hear the song? It was a good tune, man. It was a good tune. Yeah, Rod says he's sick. Yeah. Play it. Okay. Okay. Let's just play it. What the heck? Here it is. Senior softball games help create this. We'll play it. Let's let it play. Hold on. Dodgers Blues. Doesn't sound the same with them winning.
$1 billion down the drain. Can't buy a ring, can't stop the pain. 35 years, one legit crown. 2020's a joke, let's write that down. Dodgers choke, Dodgers fall. Swings, but the moment's too big. LA dreams crumble like a broken twig. The Blue Jays fly, they take it all. Dodgers crumble, hear the call. Are they great or just pretend? LA's fake, this ain't the end. Dodgers choke, Dodgers fall. Big blue hype, but they got no ball. Giants rise, Tony's crew. Sooner or later, they'll bury you. Hollywood glitz, but where's the grit? Can't build hard, can't buy a hick. Giants build brick by brick. Dodgers crack, it's a tire trick.
All right. I think you get the gist there. We'll let it go. Would have been fun to open the show up with that, but congratulations to the Dodgers. You win the games on the field, right? You win them. You win them in the front office. You win them with your pocketbooks. But ultimately, it comes down the players got to perform, and the Dodgers were challenged like never before. And the Blue Jays didn't have what it took to win it. They just didn't have it. I don't know. You'll never know. Sports is is like this, right? To win a championship, you got to be really good, but you got to be a little bit lucky too, right? And the Dodgers ran into a unhealthy Bo Bichette and George Springer, and not to take any away from the Dodgers, but you wonder if Springer didn't get hurt in the series and Bo Bichette wasn't hurt, would it have been a different outcome? Who knows? But at the end, it doesn't really matter. In the record books, it's going to show LA Dodgers 2025 World Champions. Welcome, Dallas, to the show.
Howdy, how's it going?
Good. I don't know if you heard the song. We had it all.
I heard it. Yeah,
we were ready to open the show with it. But anyway,
you can see my shirt here. This is not Dodgers blue. This is Blue Jays blue, and I wore it because I thought the Blue Jays were going to come through, and unfortunately, didn't happen.
Yeah. So, Senior says, talking to Mark Graves, that's why I can tell they aren't real fans. They'd rather pop off to Giants fans and celebrate. Bandwagon fools. Yeah. Dodger fans, you shouldn't be popping off. You should be celebrating. You should be celebrating. You won back-to-back world championships. Hasn't been done in this century, right? 98, 99, 2000. So there hasn't been anybody that's done it in the 21st century twice, 2 years in a row. So it's, it's a, hey, look, guys, it'll end. It's going to be very tough for the Dodgers to come back and win 3. People are going to be gunning for them. They'll have even more of a target on their back. And, Freeman will be a year older. Betts will be a year older. I wouldn't be surprised if they let Muncy go. Am I still lagging? Robert says yes, lagging. Am I lagging? Hey guys, let me know if I'm lagging. I'll need to reboot if I am. And since Dallas is here, I could do that. Am I, freezing or anything or lagging on this? I am. Okay. Truth Willsey says I know I was last night. Dallas, I'm gonna bow out and come right back. I'm gonna restart the computer.
All right, no problem.
All right, so let me do that.
So, what a great game that was. The outcome wasn't what Giants fans really were hoping for, obviously, but you couldn't have asked for a better game. The Blue Jays get off to the early lead. Practically every pitcher on the team, each team made it in. All the big names. It was an all hands on deck kind of game. And the Blue Jays had the lead in the bottom of the 9th inning, and all they had to do was, get 3 outs. And their closer, Hoffman, gave up the solo home run to tie the game. It goes to extras, and then we're back to that same old thing. Who is going to give it up? And unfortunately, it was the Blue Jays giving it up. Unlikely hero, Rojas. Ohtani's on deck. You got your 9th place hitter up there. Everyone's just saying, can you find a way to get Ohtani to the plate? And doesn't matter. He drilled it and got the home run and put the Dodgers. Who's calling me? 1 second. So, yeah. And then, of course, the Blue Jays respond in the have a chance to try and come back and tie it or win the game. And they hit into Yamamoto, struggling a little bit. He intentionally walks the guy to get set up the force play so that they can try for the double play. And sure enough, he pitched for it and he got it. and that was pretty good. I mean, he did exactly what he had to do, and Yamamoto, you got to hand it to him. The guy pitched 2 complete games in a row. Then he pitched 6 solid his last outing there, and he was. How many runs did he give up? 1? I'm not sure, but I'm sure he's the MVP if they haven't announced that already. I'll pull up Twitter here just to see what they're saying. MVP. I see a lot of Japanese characters, so I assume that Japan is very, very thrilled right now that that Yamamoto is the Chevrolet World Series MVP. So good for him. I mean, he deserves it. You think going into it, it's going to be Ohtani, and Yamamoto got the MVP, and he definitely deserved it. So,
yeah, I got a question for you, Dallas. Does his performance in the World Series top Bumgarner's 2014? He won 3 games in the World Series and then pitched
I think he
in game
ties
6
it.
and 7.
I think it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Here he is closing out game 7.
Yeah, I mean, he pitched in game 6 though last night. Not even like a day off in between.
No.
Wow. You're not lagging now? Okay, good. Thank you. All right. I just need appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Appreciate
I'm going to step
that.
away for just 1 minute, Dan, and then I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, I think what happened here was probably need to shut the computer down every now and then. I think I haven't rebooted this thing in probably a month. So it just probably had to get everything going. So yeah, we get so we'll see. I mean, hey guys, the Dodgers Yamamoto used to 6 days of rest or 5 full days of rest pitching in Japan. And we'll see if this guy, as much as he pitched here in this World Series, does he suffer for it, or does he get the off season to rest and recover, or does he have any arm issues? Hopefully not. I don't like to see players get hurt. Yeah, thanks. I need to reboot, shut it down and reboot. Yeah. So this stream is choppy. Is it still choppy? Some people are saying still choppy. Let me know. Sometimes I know my internet's working solid. So hopefully I'm not lagging. Truth Hurts Wilkie says Giants chairman Greg Johnson discussed several topics in an interview with John Shea of the Standard, including some talk about how the team plans to spend this winter. What was the gist of that, Don? Maybe I can – thanks, Mark. Let me see if I can pull this up, that article in the San Francisco Standard. Maybe I can pull that up here. Would love to find out how that went. Let me just see if I can. Okay. Two free posts left. Okay. You're all access to Bay Area sports, the daily, section 4 or 5. Okay, let me just
We've got
do
some
this.
Dodgers fans setting off fireworks, so the dog's freaking out.
Oh, jeez. Really, Dodger fans in Sacramento? Oh, come on. All
They're
right.
everywhere.
Let's take a look. We got some talk about Tony with an article, John Shea and Greg Johnson. I haven't heard about it. So let's take a look. The whole debate on you haven't been at the major league level. You haven't played. I would say, okay, Vitello's building a coaching staff. The payroll, according to Spot Track, is 141 million. It's 164 million for the purpose of the luxury tax. Opening day estimate is 186. It must be noted the Giants still owe 17 million. So they're about 203. And then you add 2 million to Soler, they're about 205. So they've really only got about 40 million to spend without going over the tax. But who cares going over the tax? Build a winner. Gosh darn. Giants would be subject to, okay. It just depends on what's out there, Johnson said. We may be over, we may be under. We're going to look at each situation and make the decision and see how it fits into not only next year, but the longer-term plans. Obviously, we could use some starting pitching help. That's probably number one on the list. Probably some relief help. Losing Randy Rodriguez was a real blow, but outside of that, it's pretty set on most. Okay. The Giants would pretty set on most of the position players. Interesting. The Giants would prefer a long-term payroll flexibility and adding players to shorter-term contracts. Verlander on a one-year deal. Okay. We can go up, but I think the risk is having too many people on similar 6-year type deals that create lax. That's true. I'm glad to hear Greg Johnson say that. You can't have everybody on 6-year deals in their 30s. I think you can always do things on shorter basis, but you've got to be careful about having too many of your players being late 30s at high. Okay, good. I think you have to have a balance. Top free agent starting pitchers are Cease, Gallen, Valdez, Suarez, Shane Bieber, who lost the game tonight, and Japanese right-hander Tatsuya Imai, whatever. I'm not sure. All of whom will receive hefty contracts. The Giants have signed just 3 pitchers to deals topping $100 million. Okay, asked if the Giants could sign a pitcher for $100 million or more this offseason, I'd say we're going to be very cautious about those kind of signings. Okay. Big money signings for pitchers can be riskier than for position players. Also, the Giants are committing more dollars to the managers. Okay, who cares? That doesn't count against the luxury tax. Open to what we need and what puts more competitive talent on the field. And again, okay, no team will outspend the Dodgers next season. The Padres, another division four, top 5 in payroll. Desperate to make noise in a top-heavy NL West, the Giants have turned to creative decision-making under Posey. The Devers trade was an example, and now the Vitello hiring. He understands relationship. Okay, so there's not a whole lot there. Basically, what we're hearing is that the Giants may or may not spend. They may go over. They may not. Doesn't sound like they're going to do too much in the area of long-term pitching deals. Maybe they get creative with a couple of high, if the market's not moving, maybe high salary for 2 years deals, maybe.
Yeah. But I think they need to go hard after those Japanese pitchers.
Yeah.
Because they don't cost any money, really. And then they could sign a Scherzer, type of that to fill that Verlander role. But they do need to sign somebody good, I think. And if they have $40 million, they could probably sign somebody. But at least he's open to that. At least he's learned from his mistakes where he said, I just want to break even or whatever.
Yeah.
Generally, anytime Greg Johnson is interviewed, I sort of cringe and kind of get ready for him to put his foot in his mouth about something.
Yeah.
So it looks like he said more of the right things this time, which is good. But
this just in from the White House. Donald Trump has declared Dodger fans a terrorist organization. So they are on the terrorist watch list, Dodger fans. So we have a few of them in here. Be careful. We have ICE that's out here looking that can help the national security as well. So so anyway, yeah, it'll be interesting in the off season, and we'll be getting into that going here. Yeah, any
But
Dodger?
they did spend money on the manager. They brought the new guy in.
Yeah,
They are going to want to give him a pitching staff. I will hope. I mean, they have to understand that, and it seems like every quote that they have is, "Yes, we need pitchers, we need
Right.
bullpen, we need starters," and that is really the ticket to if they're going to have success or not. They have to have a deep pitching staff, and if they can do that, then they have a chance. And that's the reason why we're not in the playoffs this year is because the pitching staff melted down at the end.
Yeah, what do you think about this? When you're running home, the bases loaded, the new theory is to stand up and run like you're running through first base. Is slide? I know we saw the who was the guy that dove head first with the panic to Crawford? Was that Alec Gordon that dove head first, and they in Game 7 of the World Series, and they reviewed it and they called him out because when he dove to first base, he was actually slowed down instead of running straight through the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Was that Gordon? I can't remember who that was. I think it might have been Gordon. But yeah, when it's a force, senior saying that's interesting. That play would have been interesting at the plate if he just kept running. Interesting. I don't know, man. That was such a bang play. Yeah, it was Alex Gordon. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Mark. Is this the greatest World Series that I have witnessed performance-wise? Yeah, it's there was great games. I mean, you had an 18 inning of what was that? What was that, game 3? Yeah, and then 4 and 5, the Blue Jays come back. I mean, the road teams
There was
won.
no blowouts, right? It was pretty
only
pitching
one
dominated.
There was only one. Each team only won one home game. They won 3 games, or in the Dodgers case, 4. But the Dodgers won 3 of the 4 games in Toronto. So,
Game 1 was the 11-4.
Yeah,
11-4, 5-1, 6-5, 6-2, 6-1, 3-1, 5-4. Yeah, it was a very competitive series. I mean, there was when it goes to extra innings of Game 7, everyone's getting their money's worth. That's for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. That was such a bang play. I took a photo of it. Did you see it? Of the play at the plate? It was. I think if he did run straight up, I think he might have been safe because he would have. Here's the play. Look at Smith's foot is just back down. That's when his foot came back down. I snapped it as I slowed it in slow motion. And this is I don't know who the runner on third was. I can't remember. But had he run straight up, it would, how sometimes like a first baseman lifts his foot off the bag and then he's trying to find it and the guy touches the bag. I think that's what would have happened. Game would have been over.
But would they have overturned that?
I think if it was clear and conclusive that.
Yeah, if it was clear, but if it was borderline, I don't think they turn it over.
Well, it depends who called him out. This is, I thought he might have been safe, but he was out. He was out. That's the picture right there. He was, but if he's, that would have been an incredible way to lose the World Series, right?
Yeah.
So, I think, the comments. Yeah, you can slip. Exactly. Why don't they make home plate like I don't know how you can make home plate. Can't you I know it has to be cleaned all the time, so it has to be a smooth surface. You can't have like a bag, but I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting theory. I saw a comment in here with the difference here. I think this is probably true. Difference between Dodgers and Giants, that LA wants to win championships and San Francisco wants to spend enough to try and get into a wild card on a budget. It's pretty much it. And this is, you have one team really, maybe two or three, the Yankees and Mets, spending money. I don't know. This is going to be interesting what happens after the 26th season, because if you've got 28, 29 owners that are not happy with what's happening, you could see a change. How many owners? Let me see. How many owners in MLB does it take to vote in a new CBA? Let's see what that. 23 of the 30 teams, which is 75%, to pass a new collective bargaining agreement. Major League Baseball requires approval. With the threshold of 23 votes, the most recent CBA was ratified by the owners 30-0. Well, you just have to have 23 owners against 7 other owners that say they don't want to, I don't know. How does that work?
Yeah, I don't think that they'll go voting out of turn like that. They'll come to an agreement between themselves beforehand, and then it'll be 30-0 again. I think that they want to stand in solidarity.
Josh Jonah says, Dan, if the Dodgers win all the championships before the lockout, who's to say they won't after the lockout? They'll just adjust to a new CBA. Well, it's interesting because the NBA set up a new CBA, and it was all designed to penalize teams that were willing to spend money. Here's how I see the CBA, and this is how I think it should be. I don't think you should be penalized for any players that you drafted and developed and are in your system, because that's the nature of the game, right? So if you've got a group of 3 or 4 stars on your team they shouldn't go against the cap. I don't care if you have a cap, if they create a cap, shouldn't count. Shouldn't count, because it's designed to stop teams from spending and being able to spend all the money on free agents. Trades, yeah. The truth is, this is true. Ohtani almost cost them a World Series. That's the effing truth. I don't know if it was Ohtani or the Dodgers' decision to start him on 3 days rest. I didn't think that was really that benefit, in the best interest of the Dodgers, or, to me, they put Glasnow out there last night. It seems like to me he would have had more in the tank instead of Ohtani. Ohtani hasn't pitched on 3 days rest starting ever, I don't believe. So, it should have been down to Blake Snell, right? I mean, Blake Snell should have lost all 3 of the games he was in.
Were you surprised that Snell even pitched tonight? I mean,
a little bit.
I thought when both Snell and Yamamoto were warming up, I thought they were going to bring Yamamoto in, and they brought Snell in. I was surprised.
Yeah. Hey, we were going to see Kershaw if the game kept going, it looked like.
Yeah. It would have gone a while, I think. I don't know.
I mean, I thought it was going to come down to 2 outs and Ohtani in the 9th. Rojas. Hey, here's where the game was lost, in my opinion. Jeff Hoffman is the guy that blew this game. And he did not blow the game on the 3-2 pitch. He blew it by getting to a 3-2 count on the 9th place hitter with Ohtani on deck, and he had to groove a ball that Rojas knew was coming down the middle because he knew they didn't want to put the go-ahead run on the bases with Ohtani coming up. So
Yep,
Jeff
exactly.
Hoffman, don't be a pussyfooting around the 9th place hitter. If he beats you, he beats you, but don't get beat on a 3-2 pitch. Get beat on a 1-2 pitch or a 2-2 pitch. You gotta come in. You can't go 3-2 on a guy. I mean,
Yep,
with
you're absolutely
Ohtani on
right.
deck. So that to me was ridiculous. And the Blue Jays, and then Chris Bassett. What happened to the lefty guy that pitched so well in Game 3 in extra innings? What's the lefty I'm talking about? The starting pitcher. He was a starter for a lot of the year. Lauer, thank you. That's who I'm talking about. Where was he tonight? Where was Lauer? He hadn't pitched since Game 3. He was rested. He had 4 days of rest. So you could have had Lauer pitch tonight. Instead, they brought in Bassett, who I thought Schneider just stayed with him too long. Bassett was, I'm surprised the Dodgers didn't open the scoring up with Bassett. They got one back. But see, the Dodgers or the Blue Jays had a chance with in the 8th inning, I believe it was. Was it 5-2? And let me look here. It was 5-2, and you had a man on second with nobody out. And at the plate was Springer, I think. I think you had, was it first and second? Let me look. But I got a call from Los, and he said, man, did they even consider maybe bunting, surprise bunt for Springer? The Blue Jays kept trying to get the big hit, and they couldn't get it with runners in scoring position. They had so many opportunities tonight. Let me look at at that play-by-play. That was the 8th inning, bottom of the 8th. Clement doubled to left. Jimenez lined out to third. Okay, that's where it was. Oh, okay. Talking about Springer maybe laying down a bunt to get that 5th run home to when you had let me see. Maybe it was what inning was it? Not so sure what it was. Clement led off with a double. Maybe it was the 7th. No. But yeah, the Blue Jays had their chance in the 8th. Leadoff double. Jimenez lined out to third. Why not bunt him over to third and get an extra run on third base with 1 out? I mean, Jimenez, I don't know. I'm thinking Schneider didn't manage well. You got to get that extra run. Bill says he didn't like them bunting Guerrero over to third if he's that slow, pinch run for them. Don't waste an out, which is what they did. Yeah, that's a good point too. You had an opportunity, 3 cracks at a hit, right? 3 cracks in the bottom of the 11th. Guerrero leads off with a double. Man, I mean, this game came down to so close. The 9th inning, they had their chances. I mean, that catch by Pajes is going to be remembered forever. That was an incredible catch.
Yeah, well, they just put him in defensively, right?
Yeah. Thanks for the $5. Dan, thank you in Dallas for your commentary. Hoping the Giants be relevant next year. A great rivalry. How much in Southern California to wear the Dodgers cap? How much in Super Chat to wear the how much in Super Chat? Oh, I don't think you have enough money. I don't think you want to put that kind of money out in the Super Chat to put that on. You know, that hat, guys, I thought it stayed down there. There it is from last night. It stayed down there, and I thought in the 9th inning, we were going to start the show with the music, and we were just going to go, there's the hat. It's right there in the corner. But the Dodgers get the last laugh. The Dodgers get the last laugh. What can you say?
It's pretty interesting. In the post-game interview on the radio, they talked to Rojas, and I think he said that he heard his rib cage celebrating the previous win that the Dodgers had. But he says that he's hurting really bad, and he was on all kinds of pills and injections. And
Rojas was?
Yeah.
And he hit the home run?
He was surprised that he was able to. He was just trying to hit it up the middle, and then he just got a hold of it and hit it over the fence. But it was funny that he mentioned that he was on all kinds of pills and injections.
Yeah. You know, the one thing I got to say about having Twitter and having guys like Bob Nightingale on your instant feed, they ruin the World Series for you. Because I got this tweet. Let me see if I can show you guys. Like 30 seconds. Let me see if it's on here. It must have come off. But it says Dodgers are world champions again or something. And I'm like, then the next pitch. Well, I knew it was a double play, right? I knew Kirk was hitting into a double play. Because I get a buzz and I go, oh, crud. Thanks, Nightingale. You got to be the first. Just you can't just.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. So the next pitch to Kirk is a ball. And then I'm like, okay, here comes the pitch. And I see the ground ball to Betts. And I'm thinking, now let me ask you this. Would you have tried to do a safety squeeze with Kirk at the plate, knowing that there's 3 outcomes? He could strike out, and there's more than 3, but maybe 4 or 5. He could strike out, he could fly out, and you can get the tying run in. He could get a hit, and you move everybody up, and you tie the game. Could win it with a home run.
Win. Well, he could win it with a hit.
Yeah, he could win it with a hit because it was first and third.
And the center fielder's playing in. So if you get it over his head, it's game over.
Right. Or he can hit into a double play. Now, here's the other issue I want to bring up, guys. I was thinking this the whole time when Barger was up the plate. They were kind of not really pitching to him, right? They were pitching around him. And I'm thinking he's fast. First and third. Kirk's up, coming up. Slowest guy in baseball. Why not have Barger attempt to steal? You're safe. A lot of times they're not even throwing that ball down there because they're afraid it either goes, in the dirt and ball gets lost, goes into the outfield.
I like that idea better than the sacrifice. because probably they don't make the throw, because if you do, then they probably just eat it,
Well,
But
what they
I
a lot
do
of times
I
do is they pump the throw, right? They pump and then they try and get the guy off third, and they don't throw it down. Barger's a speedster. Yeah, and
they should have
Varsho
tried to
was
stay out of the double play. I agree with you.
absolutely. Varsho was the one who couldn't come up big, Dan, because Schneider was exposed for a terrible manager. Yeah, Varsho, great outfielder, but a weak arm. Didn't come through at the plate. They had bases loaded, 1 out. Was that the ninth, right? It was the ninth inning. Bases loaded, 1 out in a tie game, and they have a chance to walk this game off. The Blue Jays had every opportunity. Every opportunity. But I would have taken my chances, man, because
that's what they should have done. But I agree with not doing the sacrifice. You get a hit and you probably win the game. You got to take your chance when you have it. The guys are on.
I mean, Barger, I wonder how many. Let me see. I'm going to look up Barger, how many stolen bases the guy had this year. Just Addison Barger.
Yeah.
Let's just take
Phillip,
a look.
You're right. Roberts, I don't think much of him as a manager, but he kind of did push all the right buttons in this game. I can't really second guess him too much.
Okay, Barger had.
Of course, it's pretty easy for him. He's got all these great pitchers. Like every pitcher that the Dodgers put out there was pretty solid pitcher today.
Okay, Barger's played in 2 seasons. He's had 6 stolen bases and been caught once. He's had 33 in 7 seasons, including the minors. He's had 33 stolen bases, but he's been caught 13 times. That's not a great percentage. That's over a third of the time. What is that? That's like 40% of the time you're getting caught. Let's see, 13 divided by 33.
It's not great, but in the situation, they probably don't think he's going to go. And even if he does go, they may not want to risk the throw.
40%, 39. Yeah. I think it was. I was so worried about the double play because you're facing Yamamoto. What's Yamamoto going to do? He's going to throw the sinker to make the ball go on the ground. And
but they should know that.
Yeah. I mean, geez. So
he wants you to hit into a double play. So don't hit into a double play.
Well, you got too anxious.
About that.
Yeah, don't swing at those pitches that are low that you can't lift.
Yeah, or at least take a couple pitches and get comfortable.
Hey guys, we got between Twitter and YouTube, we've got about 275 watching right now. Let me see how many we've actually got here on. I'll just take a peek here live. Okay, we got over 107 watching. It says. At least that was my latest. Let's check how many likes do we have here.
How many Dodgers fans do we have in here? Who's the Dodgers fans?
Hey, let's get those likes up, guys. We only got 35 likes. If you would hit that like button, that would really be appreciated. Look, we've been fair to the Dodgers, okay? This show is fair to the Dodgers. We tell it like it is. Just because we don't like the Dodgers doesn't mean
that's good, TG. I hope there's no Dodgers fans in here. They should be out celebrating. The champagne should be popped. They should be jumping around their living room, and good for them. You can't really feel too bad as a Giants fan because, the reason why the Giants aren't in this situation is that they haven't put a good enough product on the field, and they're not staying competitive with the Dodgers. And
Right.
that's going to be what they have to address going forward. But for the Dodgers fans, the ones that have been in here every night during the series, and it's good if they're not in here, just because why would you want to come to NorCal Sports Network and for your victory celebration? That's just
Yeah.
you know,
It's kind of like
leave us Giants fans in our misery.
it's kind of funny because if you're gloating on as a Dodger fan on a NorCal on a Giants channel, it shows that you're not really into your team more than you are. You just want to, like, if the Dodgers lost and I wasn't doing a show, the last thing I'm doing is going to a Dodger channel and talking smack to them.
I mean, I would never do that. It's just not. Yeah. But some people are obviously wired that way.
Yeah,
see it all the time.
Robert Boyd, F the Dodgers. Blue Jays choked like Kyle Shanahan. Yeah, Blue Jays did choke, in my opinion. They choked in.
They had it. They had it.
They had it. They had it in the ninth twice. They had it in the ninth twice. They had it in the top of the ninth, and they had it in the bottom of the ninth.
But going into the ninth inning, I said it at the time. I was like, one run, that's pretty shaky against this team. Like, I wasn't too confident at that point. And sure enough, they tied it up. And then once it goes to extras, you got to figure out a way to get a run home. As the home team, when it's still tied, they had many chances to try and sneak a run across and win the game. In extra innings, the home team has such a huge advantage.
Look, the Blue Jays had the chance.
Capitalize on that.
Yeah, they had a chance to win it in the ninth with just getting 3 outs. They give up a long ball. They have a chance to win it in the bottom of the ninth with bases loaded, and they're tied, and all they need to do is get one stinking run. That's it. And then Varshaw grounds out.
Some Giant stuff right there.
Right? Varshaw grounded out, and then Clement. It looked like Clement got enough to get it to the, and then Pages comes out of nowhere. His elbow knocks Kiki in the mouth. That would have been fitting if the ball had dropped. That would have been kind of like, hey, they lost like the Phillies lost, and
didn't happen.
And then, but yeah, the Blue Jays had a chance in the ninth twice, and then in the 11th, they gave up the home run to Will Smith, but then they've got a man on third, first and third with 1 out. First and third with 1 out. And they basically pitched around Barger to see if he would chase. Yamamoto never gave in. And then they bring up Kirk. They were probably thrilled that Kirk was coming up because he can be a clutch hitter, but anywhere on the ground to any infielder, it's a double play. He's so slow. I mean, that's just yeah. So,
yep.
I think overall, we're going into free agency next week. By today is Saturday. By Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, the question is, do they count 5 days from November 1st or November 2nd? Because technically the game ended November 2nd in Toronto. So
it's the first.
So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I think we have free agencies opening up as early as Thursday. Definitely by next Friday.
Yeah.
So, yep. Justin
Question
says
now.
They still owe Snell. Yep, $17 million. That is correct.
If the Dodgers had lost, do you think they go and sign Kyle Tucker? And now that they've won, do you think that we don't need it?
I think they still go sign Kyle Tucker. I don't think the Dodgers want to even have it be this close. They realize that they could have been had by the Phillies. They could have been had by the Blue Jays for sure. And I still think they go out and try and get Tucker. Why wouldn't they? Their outfield's not that good. Their outfield is the weak link of their team. Th're playing Andy Paez, who's a terrible hitter.
And they should.
Edmund,
I mean, you'd think they would, because one, they're not afraid to spend money. Two, you only got one hole on your team. Your pitching staff is deep. I mean, Michael Conforto is the guy you got to replace, So replace him. And they probably will.
Yeah, Conforto, he was left off the roster. He was terrible for them. Yeah. Snell gets
Except
the last
against the
lap.
Giants. He
Snell
hit like
gets
500.
Snell gets $17 million because of Farhan, and Farhan's gets a ring with the Dodgers. And he'll probably get, I wonder if he gets $2 or $3 million of that money from Snell. It's like, hey, thanks. What a plan we put together. Oh my God.
They're not going to give him like the good ring with the diamonds. They give him the staff ring.
I'm not trading every piece of my farm to get Scooble, Johnny. Not for 1 year. I'm not going to do that. Where did that comment go? It just, here.
No. Okay. Here's another question.
I wouldn't give up everything to get Scooble for a year.
If the Blue Jays had won, Bo Bichette would have been the hero of the game.
Right.
Which means they re-sign him for sure. Right.
The Blue Jays?
Yeah. Now they probably do anyway, right?
I don't know. I'm not so sure if they re-sign him. I think the Blue Jays' chance, their door was wide open this year, and I would think it could close on them quickly, because if Bichette leaves,
I think if the Blue Jays had won, there is no way they could let Bichette leave. And now that they've lost, there's a chance he could go.
Yeah.
But probably not either way. But I just think the chances of him staying were higher with a win than with the loss.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know, man. It's hey, look, we got football tomorrow, right? We got football. Niners early game tomorrow, 10 o'clock, facing the New York Giants. You know what? I'll just go wash this whole thing down with maybe a good snack or something and just forget about it. Man,
I can't even get mad about it. It was a really good game.
It was a great game.
The series was great. The game was great. You can't ask for a better Game 7 than this, other than the fact that it turned out the way it did.
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting tired.
But that last play of the game, that last pitch, and he makes contact, it could have gone a completely different direction, Yeah. And this whole thing comes down to just right that pitch, and it's either a double play or it's the game's tied or they win. It's like it all comes down to that.
Yeah, you didn't think he was going to probably strike out. Yeah, Yamamoto out. Set him up for. He was pitching. I'm just shocked that Yamamoto was able to have control tonight. To be able to get the ball over, it's pretty wild.
He's making a name for himself. For sure. Because he warmed up in that the long game too.
Yeah. Yep. No, I look at it this way, guys. So the Dodgers won. It's what does it do for you? In a week, it's not gonna mean a thing. and you wake up tomorrow, it doesn't mean anything. Dodgers win the championship. If they lose, it's funny because I used to get, I think that the times I probably got frustrated the most in losses, I think you take them harder when it's your team and you're younger, maybe. I took the 2002 World Series defeat really, it took
That
me a
was
few,
that was the worst.
took me a few days just to flush that out. Like for me, when my team loses, I keep reliving, and I have to talk to people about it, talk, and I just get it out.
Yeah,
And
that was bad. The
last three
first
Super Bowls,
loss was really bad.
The last three have been horrible. They should have won all three of them.
I know, but the first one was the worst because they had not lost one before.
Yeah, I know. But they should, if you think about it, the Niners should be 8-0 in Super Bowls. That would be incredible. They could have won all three of those last. They were on basically the goal line inside the 5 for the first one. They lost to Baltimore. And then the 2 against the Chiefs, they're up in the fourth quarter and they're up in overtime. I
know. It's crazy.
Yeah, losing to the Rams in 22 is horrible. But you know what? I just tell people, look, the bottom line is these guys are multimillionaires, right? And we root for them. But the bottom line is, everybody, if they win, they lose, ask yourself this. Do they care about you that much as your family does, right? No. So
at least you're not a Cleveland Browns fan.
Yeah, focus on your
family. They've never been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, tomorrow, exactly, Bill. Tomorrow it won't mean anything. Look, all this stuff is it's such a moment, right? It's a moment, but then look, you have life hit you. You have loved ones. You lose. I've lost both my parents in the last 6 years or so. My mom died in 19, but you got a loved one that passes, or you lose an animal, that's you're really tight with. That's what hits you, right? Those are the things that hit you. Sports, it's all for. Thanks, Beto. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's sports. It's all for the moment, right? It takes us off of the stresses of life. We have some moments, and then it's in the end, it's entertainment, right? And why do we love it? Because we don't really know what the outcome is, right? We don't know what the outcome is. And you hope things aren't fixed, right? You hope everything's legit. You find that the NBA players or some guys are, throwing games. Refs have been caught cheating, gambling, throwing games. You hope none of these things are, but yeah, sports is a big distraction, but it's not everything, right? Look, I've said, the Niners could win it all. The Warriors could win it all. The Giants could win it all coming up. And will I celebrate and be thrilled? Yeah, for a day or two, right? And then you get back to real life. And, I just kind of look at the, look, most of the fun stuff when you're growing up or you got friends, the ribbing and back and forth, Dodger fans ripping on Giants fans and vice versa. Isn't that all part of the fun? Don't take it so serious, man. People get too worked up with people getting bent out of shape over somebody saying the Giants suck. Well, maybe they do, I mean, and Giants fans, F the Dodgers, I get it.
They're 500. They don't suck,
Yeah.
but they're not good, and
Yeah.
they got to work on that.
Yeah. So just it's hey, look, I I like playing in, fantasy leagues where you can talk smack to each other, but some people can't handle that. Some people like part of, why do basketball players, you know, talk smack at each other during the game and they're just also and then after the game they're hugging each other. You're right. Hey, good game, It's
Yeah,
all part of the competition,
yeah.
you
Well, that
know.
was one of the good highlights of the Tony Vitello thing with Buster Posey. Buster doesn't like people hugging other players on the other team.
Nice. Good.
He doesn't want to see that, and so I think you might see a different mentality instead of Willie Adames. Every time a guy gets on second base, he shakes his hand and gives him a hug. You might not see that this next year.
Good.
So,
Let's see. I'm looking at some of the chat. 49ers are doing all they can. Watching tomorrow is going to be hard on that hellhole. MetLife Field. That's hopefully they don't come away with a bunch of injuries. What is this? Mickey Mantle makes $100,000 a year. How much does your father make? If your dad ever can't pay the rent and needs money, go ask Mickey Mantle. See what happens. Mickey Mantle don't care about you. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I think that's a quote, right? Wasn't that a quote from something? It seems like I've heard that before. That's in a movie, isn't it? Isn't that in a movie? What movie's that in? Gosh, what movie's that in, Cliff? Bronx Tale? Okay. I don't think I've even seen that. Yeah. So, I mean, guys, look, Dodger fans, they're going to all enjoy the night. And, some will wake up completely hungover tomorrow. And then they'll realize, you know what? I got to go to work Monday. If you have a job, I got to go to work Monday. And I got to deal with all the other problems of life. So, you know what? Sports is all fun. Yeah, they're probably looting in LA. That's one thing I've never understood. Cities win a championship and then they tear down the city. I mean, how ridiculous is that? That is one of the stupidest things I think I've ever witnessed in my lifetime is all these cities that, hey, we just won the championship. Let's break everything and tear down and be destructive. And looting, and people will be doing that, I'm sure, throughout LA. Look, man, I'm not a big city liver. I don't like the big cities. Um, just I like the subs. Keep me out of the stinking big cities. It's just and those people that are doing all the looting, they can care less about the Dodgers, right? It's an opportunity for them to go steal and do destructive because that's their nature. That's just what they want to do. They look for opportunities. So, yeah. So we missed out on some fun tonight at the Dodger fans' expense. Again, congratulations to the Dodgers. You know what? If you can't beat them, you're going to have to just get better, right? You're going to have to get better. And, I'm hoping that this moves some of the Giants ownership to say, you know what? We need to be better. We need to be better. We got to be smarter. And I think the first step of being better and getting smarter was getting Buster And the next step was Tony Vitello. I think I put out a tweet today, guys, about Tony Vitello. And in fact, I think what we'll do is we'll play that and then we'll end the show. But I'm super excited about Tony Vitello. I really am. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see this, but let's take a look at it. I am so pumped up for. Let me see. Is this the one? Yeah. All right. We're going to start the video here over.
I've been involved in.
Let me stop the video. Let me read you the actual tweet here on this. This is what I said. I am more excited about Tony Vitello as manager of the Giants than any previous managerial hire. Even, when Bochy signed, there was no, we thought the Giants were going to win 3 World Series, right? I know he's bright and sharp and an incredible communicator, and I think that's why I'm so excited about him being the Giants manager. But I think the thing that excites me the most, besides his communication skills and the fact that he's a motivator, is that he hates to lose. Tony Victory Vitello. That's what seniors nicknamed him, Tony Victory. We'll take it with it. Tony Victory Vitello will win a Major League Baseball World Championship as a manager, and I hope he's with the Giants for the next plus 10 years. I don't know if it's with the Giants. I hope it is, but he is going to win. The all-time greats were motivated by their hatred of losing more than the love of winning. Read below on the GOAT in all of sports, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was motivated by both winning and hating to lose, but his hatred of losing was the more powerful, immediate driver that fueled his obsessive pursuit of victory. He famously stated that losing was the worst feeling in life for him, and he used that pain as a motivator to analyze his failures and find ways to change and improve. While he was driven by a compulsion to win at all costs, his intensity came from a deep-seated aversion to losing and a need to conquer it. Jordan considered losing the worst feeling in life and described his hatred as a driving force. Okay, that's just the summary there. There was a few more points, but guys, when guys hate to lose, they love winning, but they're so competitive, and that's what Tony is. I had Tony Basilio on from Knoxville the other day. He said that's Tony's biggest thing. He cannot stand losing. It drives him insane. And I'd rather have that happen, because a guy who hates to lose will figure a way to win. Okay? He'll figure out a way to win. And I think you're going to see Tony instill that attitude in the players. You generally reflect your leader. Buster Posey hated to lose. He's just not as boisterous about it. Steph Curry hates to lose. Joe Montana, a quiet guy. You ask Joe Montana, what motivated you more, the winning or the fear of losing? He said the fear of losing. Guys, losing sucks, right? And nobody wants to lose, but some guys, they get used to it, and it doesn't seem to really drive them. And so I think Tony Vitello is going to instill an attitude of, you guys better not be content with losing, because if you are, you're not going to be on this team. And yeah, exactly. Just what I said as this one came in. Tony Vitello will weed out the guys who don't want it. Yeah, you always reflect. Teams take on the persona of their leader, and their leader is going to be Tony. You're going to see this guy is going to get these guys going, and there will be no, he's not coming to San Francisco to lose. I can tell you that.
Yep, for sure.
Instant says he expects him to be another Nick Saban, big college guy, nobody in the pros. I think I don't know. I could be, but I think he'll win. I think he'll want to win. So that's okay. Everybody's got their opinion. Everybody. That's what sports is about.
I don't really. It's an unknown. So at this point, I don't know the point of being negative about it. Yet we have to wait and see. But
Yeah,
I'm with you. I think it's a great hire, and I expect. I mean, just in the interviews, you can tell he's going to be able to adapt what he does for the major leagues. I can see that it's going to be the case. So, hopefully, there was prolonged losing streaks last year where the Giants lost 12 out of 14 at home or 11 out of 12, whatever it was. I think he will say he's going to be averse to that happening. He's going to find a way to end losing streaks, turn things around a little quicker than Melvin was able to. So I'm looking forward to next season, but in the meantime, the off season, I think we can fire up the old hot stove and see what's going to happen here.
Oops, I muted myself. Yeah, why don't we end the show? Let's see if we can find it here. Let's see if we can find it here, and we'll let's see if I can find. Nope, not there. Not there. Hold on here. I'm looking for. We were on last. Have I got the right email? Yeah. There we go. Inbox. Okay. I'm looking for. What is? Hold on here. One sec, guys. I'm looking for something to play us out with. Tony Vitello. Let's see. Where did I do with it? I can't seem to find it. I got too many emails. Only 78,000. I think I need to clean it out. You think so? Clean out the email. Dallas, 78,000 in here.
Yeah, I let it get to 100,000 first and start working on it.
All right, I know what I can do. Here we go. We will do it this way. Let's see. Where did it go? Okay. Here we go. I think I found it. Sorry, I'm such a terrible when it comes to this stuff. It takes forever things to work for me. Might want to hit send. There we go. And still with me?
Yeah.
All right. See if I get this thing set up here. Too bad we couldn't play our Dodger song. That would have been fun. All right. I think we got it. Here we go. Let's close this puppy out. Let's get ready for next year with some Giants baseball from Tony Vitello. Here it is. Thanks to Senior Softball Games for putting this song together. We'll close this out with a little Tony victory. Something for Giants fans to look forward to next year, guys. Here we go.
Out of Tennessee, where the Smokies rise. Tony Victory brought us fire and pride. They say he's unproven, green as spring grass, but he's got a way, makes you believe fast. Tony Victory, they don't all agree, but he talks like a man who can part the sea. Dodgers looming, doubts run high. Can he lead the Giants to touch the sky? Tony Victory, time will see. Eric from the talk shows throwing his shade. Says a college man can't win the big league stage, but Tony's boys down in Tennessee, son, they played wild, they played hard, and they sure as hell won. They'll Delbert swing, crazy like the wind. Tony knows the storms where champions begin. But he talks like a man who can part the sea. Dodgers looming, doubts run high. Can he lead the Giants to touch the sky? Tony Victory, time will see. Fans hold their breath, the past weighs a ton, but he's not afraid of the job that's begun. Confidence burns in the words he speaks, like fire in his heart, a goal in his reach. Tony Victory, they don't all agree, but he talks like a man who can part the sea. Dodgers looming, doubts run high. Can he lead the Giants to touch the sky? Tony Victory, time will see.
All right. Thanks to Senior Softball Games for putting that together for us. Tony Victory. That's going to.
I'll learn the chords for that one. It's pretty easy, so I'll be able to play it.
All right. We'll have it live. We'll just get you the lyrics. Perfect. All right. With that, let's get out of here. Maybe we should have got out of here. Maybe we should just get out of here, play it one more time. Should we play it one more time and get out of here? Or should we play it? All right. Let's do it one more time, guys. Tony Victory, and then we'll just sign off as it plays. Here, let me pull it back up one more time, and here we go. Let me get the play button. You guys have a great night.
Out of Tennessee, where the Smokies rise, Tony Victory brought us fire and pride. They say he's unproven, green as spring grass, but he's got a way, makes you believe fast. Tony Victory, they don't all agree, but he talks like a man who can part the sea. Dodgers looming, doubts run high. Can he lead the Giants to touch the sky?
time will see. Eric from the talk shows throwing his shade. Says a college man can't win the big league stage. But Tony's boys down in Tennessee, son, they played wild, they played hard, and they sure as hell won. They'll Delbert swing, crazy like the wind. Tony knows the storms where champions begin. Tony victory, they don't all agree, but he talks like a man who can part the sea. Dodgers looming, doubts run high. Can he lead the Giants to touch the sky? Tony victory, time will see. The fans hold their breath. The past weighs a ton, but he's not afraid of the job that's begun. Confidence burns in the words he speaks, like fire in his heart, a goal in his reach. Tony victory, they don't all agree, but he talks like a man who can part the sea. Dodgers looming, doubts run high. Can he lead the Giants to touch the sky? Tony victory, time will see.
Good night, everybody. Have a great season. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.